Hello, welcome to everybody to my online biology class. I am Dr. Devbrata Mukherjee, PGT Biology of Kendriya Vidyalaya number 1 Kachrapada. Today I shall explain the concept of pre-fertilization structures and events under the lesson 2 sexual reproduction in flowering plants of class 12 biology. So we must know what is the content for today's discussion. We will study today or we will discuss about the flower, a fascinating organ of the angiosperms, pre-fertilization structures and events, stamen, microsporangium and pollen grain, the pistil, megasporangium and the embryo sac. So here I am showing you the picture of a flower. So here are the sepal, petal, stamen and the pistils are there. So if you next the YouTube video link of the lessons of 12 biology, you should go through this one. Now let us talk about pre-fertilization structures and events. Actually, androecium the consists of a whorl of stamens representing the male reproductive organ and the gynoecium represents the female reproductive organ. So stamen, megasporangium and pollen grain are interrelated together, each other. And two parts of a typical stamen, there is a long and slender stalk that is called filament and the terminal generally bilobe structure that is or the bulge structure that is called the anther. Here you see the pictorial representation of the both. So the proximal end of the filament which are being attached to the thalamus or a petal of a flower. And the number and length of stamens are variable in flowers of different species. A typical angiosperm anther which is bilobed with each lobe having two theca, that is they are called diathecas. Often a longitudinal groove runs lengthwise separating the theca. The bilobe structure of the anther is very distinct in the transverse section of anther. And there will be the microsporangium. The anther is a four-sided, that is tetragonal structure, consists of four microsporangia located at the corner, two each in lobe. The microsporangia develop further and become the pollen sac, and they extend longitudinally all through the length of an anther and are packed with the pollen grain. Here we are studying the structure of the microsporangium. You follow the picture. Structure of a microsporangium, if you would like to discuss, in a transverse section, a typical microsporangium appears near the circular or in outline, and there will be the four wall layer are there: epidermis, endothelium, middle layer, tapetum. So the function is there, outer three wall layers perform the function of the protection, help in the dehiscence of anther to release pollen. Here is a vivid picture, clear picture of the microsporangium. Next we will talk about the tapetum. The innermost wall layer is the tapetum. What is function? It nourishes the developing pollen grains. Cells of tapetum possesses the dense cytoplasm and more than one nucleus. So next we will talk about sporogenous tissue. When the anther is young, a group of compactly arranged homogeneous cell called sporogenous tissue occupies the center of each microsporangium. So next the microsporogenesis. As the anther develops, the cells of the sporogenous tissue undergo meiotic division to form. As each of a sporogenous tissue is capable of giving rise to a microspore tetrad, each one is a potential pollen or the microspore mother cell. So microsporogenesis is a process of formation of microspore from a pollen mother cell through the meiosis. So now we will go to discuss the details of microsporogenesis. The, the microspores are arranged in a cluster of four cells, the microspore tetrad. As the anther mature and dehydrate, the microspores dissociate from each other and develop into pollen grains. Inside each microsporangium, several thousands of microspores or pollen grains are formed that are released with the dehiscence of anther. Next, you see the picture of a pollen grain. So, the pollen grains represent the male gametophytes, generally the spherical in measuring about 25 to 50 micrometers in diameter, prominent two-layer cell. The two-layer cells are exine and intine. Exine, the hard outer layer called the exine, is made up of sporopollenin, which is one of the most resistant organic material known. It can withstand the high temperatures and the strong acids and alkali. No enzyme that can dehydrate or degrade sporopollenin so far known. So is this been sporopollenin continuous structure? No. The pollen grain exine has prominent aperture called the germ pores where the sporopollenin is absent, and the pollen grains are well preserved as fossils because of the presence of sporopollenin. Here I am showing the picture of the germ pore. Next you see the enlarged view of a pollen grain tetrad. Let us talk about intine. Inner wall of the pollen grain is a thick and continuous layer made up of the cellulose and pectin. The cytoplasm of a pollen grain is surrounded by plasma membrane. There is a mature pollen grain consists of two cells, vegetative and the generative. The vegetative cell is bigger, abundant food reserve, large irregular shaped nucleus. But the generative cell is concerned is small and floats in a cytoplasm of this being vegetative cell. It is a spindle shaped with dense cytoplasm and nucleus. In over 60% of angiosperms, pollen grains are shared at two cell stage. In the remaining species, the generative cell divides mitotically, give rise to two male gametes before the pole shaded, that is the three cell stigma. And there will be a severe allergy and bronchial afflictions. Pollen grains of many species cause severe allergy and the bronchial afflictions in some people, often leading to the chronic respiratory disorder, that is asthma, bronchitis, etc. Parthenium or the carrot grass that came into India as a containment with the imported wheat has become the ubiquitous in occurrence and causes the pollen allergy. Here you see the picture of a parthenium or the carrot grass. Next, what are the usefulness of pollen grain? First point, this is rich in nutrients. Second, in recent year, pollen tablets are used. In Western country, large number of pollen products in the form of tablets and syrups available in the market. And the pollen consumption has been claimed to increase performance of the athletes and racehorses. So here you see the pollen products are there. What are the viabilities of the pollen grain? The period for which pollen grain remain viable is highly variable. In some cereals, rice, wheat, pollen grains have lose the variability within 30 minutes of their release, but in some members, Rosaceae, Leguminaceae and the Solanaceae, they maintain viability for months. So here you see now this picture, now the pollen bank picture. What is pollen bank? It is possible to store pollen grain of a large number of species for years in liquid nitrogen, that is minus 196 degrees Celsius. Such stored pollen can be used as a pollen bank, similar to seed bank in the crop breeding products. Here you see about this pollen bank. So now let us discuss about the pistil. The gynoecium is representing pistil, that is the reproductive part of a flower, which is female reproductive part. So there are types. Monocarpillary means gynoecium may consist of a single pistil, hibiscus species. Multicarpillary, more than one pistil. Syncarpus, when there are more than one pistils may be fused together, that is papaver species. Apocarpus, pistils may be free, Michaelia. There you see the variety of that. Next, see the picture of the pistil. Three parts: stigma, style and ovary. Follow the picture. Stigma serves as a landing platform for pollen grain. Style is the enlarged slender part beneath the stigma. Ovary, the basal bulge part of pistil. Inside the ovary, it is ovarian cavity, that is locule. Placenta is located inside the ovarian cavity. Next, we are talking about the megasporangium, that is ovule. Arise from the placenta are the megasporangia. The number of ovules in an ovary may be 1 wheat, paddy, mango to many the papaya, watermelon, orchids. So, the structure of a typical the angiosperm ovule is displayed here. Let us discuss about the structure. The ovule is a small structure attached to the placenta by means of a stalk called the funicule. The body of a ovule fuses with the funicule. The region is called hilum. Hilum represents the junction between ovule and the funicule. Each ovule, one or two, these being productive envelope. A protective envelope is there called the integuments. Typical angiosperm ovule, how is it looking like? Integuments encircle the ovule except that the tip had a small opening called the micropyle is organized, and the opposite to the micropylar end is a chalazal representing the basal part of ovule. Next one, nucellus, that is the encloses within the integument is a mass of cell called nucellus. Cells of nucellus have abundant reserved food materials. Located in the nucellus is the embryo sac or female gametophyte. An ovule generally has a single embryo sac formed from a megaspore through the reduction division. Here you see all these steps are there. Let us talk about megasporogenesis. It is a process of formation of the megaspores from the megaspore mother cell, that is called the megasporogenesis. Ovules generally differentiate a single megaspore mother cell in the micropylar region of the nucellus. It is a large cell containing dense cytoplasm. MMC undergoes meiotic division and meiosis results in the production of 4 megaspores. How the female gametophytes is looking like, and what about their pattern? In a majority of flowering plant, one of the megaspore is functional, other 3 degenerate. Only the functional megaspore develops into female gametophyte, that is called embryo sac. This method of embryo sac formation from a single megaspore, and this is called monosporic development, which is very important. Next, how the embryo sac is formed. The nucleus of the functional megaspore divides mitotically, that is form 2 nuclei which move to the opposite poles forming 2 nucleate embryo sac. 2 more sequential the mitotic nuclear divisions result formation of 4 nucleate, later 8 nucleate stages of the embryo sac. These mitotic divisions are strictly free nuclear, that is the nuclear division are not followed immediately by cell wall formation. So next we will talk about a significant concept, 8 nucleus stage to central cell. After the 8 nucleus stage, cell walls are laid down leading to the organization of a typical female gametophyte or the embryo sac. 6 of the 8 nuclei are surrounded by cell wall and organized into a cell. The remaining 2 nuclei called polar nuclei situated below the egg apparatus in the large central cell. So, how the cells are organized within the embryo sac. The 3 cells are grouped together as a micropylar end and constitute the egg apparatus. Egg apparatus consists of 2 synergids and 1 egg cell. The synergids have special cellular thickness at the micropylar tip called the filiform apparatus. That is playing an important role in guiding the pollen tube into the synergid. 3 cells at the chalazal and is called the antipodal end, and the large central cell has 2 polar nuclei. Thus a typical angiosperm embryo sac at maturity 8 nucleated in the 7 cell. In the chapter, here I am placing the assignments, acknowledgements are there, reference links are there, and so you could share it, you could observe it. Thank you very much.